Hello everyone, my name is Abhishek and welcome back to my channel. And today I have with me a very special person to do this podcast. I know I might have told this multiple times before, but this time it's truly special because I have Vishal, whose journey is very inspirational from Indian Army to DevOps to a startup. It's a lot of roller coaster ride, and I will try as much as possible to extract from Vishal in today's podcast, and it will help you all in the DevOps journey. I'm pretty sure about it. So before I start this podcast, over to you, Vishal, if you would like to introduce yourself in a couple of lines. I'll talk about your journey after this, but if you want to just say what you're currently doing, uh, yeah, just in a couple of lines.
All right. Thank you, Abhishek, first of all, for giving me this opportunity. So, currently, as you said, my name is Vishal Chauhan, and currently I'm leading a project in a US-based startup.
Amazing.
So, we are a small team. So, we are a small team of around 4 members in this current project, which I am
Hmm,
leading.
hmm.
And about the company, so my company's name is Group Dev. That's a very initial based startup, and it is located in Ahmedabad in India.
Awesome. Awesome.
So apart from this, about managing the entire project, I am also currently doing some guest lectures in some of the top universities of India, especially in the northern region. So that is what currently I am doing in terms of DevOps.
Yeah. But Vishal, when I looked at your journey, right, uh, after your graduation or after your college, you joined Indian Army, right? I saw that, and you spent good time there. Then you moved to DevOps. Then you moved towards a startup. So how did this entire thing happen? Can you like brief us through the details? How did this entire journey happen?
Yeah, you want me to go through my
Yeah,
nostalgic part?
yeah.
Okay. So yeah, as you said, it has been a roller coaster ride, and it has been a great journey till yet.
Hmm.
So I completed my graduation, my BTech in 2016. After that, but I was the university topper of my particular branch. I was in
Awesome.
the CS branch itself. And but I never thought that I would be working in IT because from the college days itself, it was very clear in my mind that I have to join Indian Army. And after the placements of the college, I got placed in TCS. So I worked in TCS for around 1 year. It was
Okay.
almost 1 year.
Okay.
Then after in 2019, I joined Indian Army. So I trained at Indian Military Academy, Dehradun for almost 2 years.
Wow.
But again, as the destiny says, just before 2 months of my commissioning as an Indian Army officer, I got an injury while playing football. And then I was invalidated out of the services on medical grounds. Then
So
that was
sorry.
a major setback for me. That was a major setback for me at that point of a time. But then again, I rejoined TCS. So TCS has a policy of not taking the ex-employees,
Yeah.
but my case being an exception of serving in Indian Army, so they reconsidered their case, and so I joined in. So I joined again TCS. I worked there for around 8 to 9 months
Okay.
in a DevOps support role only. So
Hmm.
there, at that point of time, it was very clear in my head that okay, DevOps is my cup of tea. Maybe the programming languages or the coding portion that I won't be able to excel into when I look down the line after 5 years or 10 years.
Hmm.
But DevOps was one field which I was pretty sure
Okay.
working there for around 8 to 9 months.
Okay.
Then I had to take a major decision. I had to increase my learning curve. TCS is a wonderful organization, but my career gap and I had to restructure my career in this particular field. So I decided to join a startup. So this particular startup, this was my first interview I gave and I cleared it. And I would say that was a big gamble. This
Okay.
startup, I was the second, yeah, I was the second employee of this particular startup. So it was
Yeah.
a big gamble for me.
Yeah. It's
But
like
by
you are
God's
co-founder,
grace,
almost like a co-founder. Yeah. I mean, not
yeah,
technically, but it's like that. Yeah.
correct. So by God's grace, that gamble paid off
Okay.
and I got a very good working culture. So the current organization, as I said earlier, that is the startup name is Group Dev. So that is the awesome work culture we have. And apart from only the work culture, the learning curve has been exponential. The learning growth has been exponential. And I was lucky enough to be a part of a project in which the client had nothing. They were just migrating their on-premises project to AWS.
Okay.
So we have literally done each and everything from the scratch. Each and everything. Like we have created the GitHub repositories. So that was the level what we have started, and now we have come a long way down the line after 2 plus
Actually, you
years.
started from scratch. We say people starting
Yes,
from scratch, but you have actually did it. Right? Okay.
correct. And the beautiful part was it was core DevOps. There was nothing, no support,
Hmm.
nothing. The beauty of
Hmm.
working in a startup is you are responsible for each and everything. You have a decision making power. You work alone. You are not dependent heavily on anyone. You have to do R&Ds on your
Hmm.
own. You have to learn a lot. You have to study a lot. You have to implement by yourself. So automatically the learning curve gets exponentially increased.
Yeah.
So that I consider myself lucky. I got into this company. I got that particular project. So yeah, that has been a wonderful gift after that particular setback of me
Exactly.
coming out of the army and again into this IT sector. So yeah, this
Yeah.
has been the journey till now.
Vishal, before I dive into your technical aspect, I want to ask one question that many of our aspirants have. I mean, I keep getting this question a lot of time, and I don't think anybody is better than you answering this. So, in your case, you joined Indian Army, and unfortunately, you had to uh, come back, right? But there are a lot of DevOps aspirants on our channel who tried UPSC exams, right? Or any kind of government exams, and unfortunately they did not get through it, and they failed, right? After that there is a criteria for it. Now they cannot apply and they want to come back, and when they look at it, they started their DevOps journey, learning DevOps, right? They actually did not get into the organization, but this phase is really tough because you already spent a couple of years or 3 to 4 years searching for jobs, or you failed, and now you have to restart your journey. Similar to you, right? Of course, in your case, you did not fail, but you have to restart your journey, right? So, what goes through your mind at that point of time? And do you want to give any suggestions how to restart the journey to all of these aspirants?
Yeah, so about restarting the journey, see, setbacks are a part of life, right? So we don't have the control over the results. We can just give our best. So
Hmm,
if you're jumping onto this particular IT journey, or specifically talking about DevOps,
hmm,
I would say first of all, the most important factor is your mindset. You have
hmm,
to prepare your mind. Okay, this is the thing I want to do. Like I did not jump directly onto the DevOps.
hmm,
I tried each and everything, but after working in that particular project in TCS,
hmm,
though it was a support project inside DevOps, but yeah, I was clear. Okay, this is what I can do and I can excel in. So my personal suggestion would be to just have an overview of each and everything and then decide, okay, this is the thing I want to do. And then there should be no looking back. You have to
hmm.
stick to that particular thing. And then the second suggestion which I would like to give is practice.
Okay.
The more you practice, the more only with the practice you will excel in any tool, whether it's
Hmm,
Terraform, whether it's Kubernetes. What I see with most of the students, they want to just learn each and every tool available in the market. That is
hmm.
not how the thing works. Even me as a DevOps engineer, you as a DevOps engineer, see, DevOps is very vast, right? We cannot learn
Yes.
each and everything. Even cloud is
Yes.
very vast.
Yes.
So it's about whatever you are working upon, you should be good and comfortable with it. That is the point. That is the funda. And again, it again comes to the mindset. If you are very clear in your mind, okay, I have to do this, I have to do this. I'm not saying take risks. I took a risk and it paid off.
Yeah.
Maybe in your scenario, it won't be able to pay off. But again, it's about never give up thing.
But
You don't have
Vish,
to give up.
but Vishal, do you think that let's say there is a candidate, okay, who has genuine reason of why things did not work out for him? That means he has a genuine reason for career gap. Okay. And let's say the candidate can justify the career gap. So do you think in market there are companies who would actually say that, okay, you have a genuine reason, so uh, I will consider your candidature. Of course, the journey would be difficult for them, but still, do you think there are some companies at least who would consider them?
Abhishek, I would like to mention there are not some companies, there are many companies. So
Okay.
nowadays we are in
Hmm.
2023, almost end of 2023. So
Okay.
I have seen companies which hardly sees your educational background. They don't even think of your career gap, what you have done,
Hmm.
where you are coming from. They
Hmm.
just need, okay, this is the person who will get my work done. This
Okay.
person has the required amount of skill set. I will pay him accordingly. So there are many companies.
Done.
One of these companies is my company.
Okay.
So what we do is we check the mindset of the person. What is
Hmm.
their ethics? What is the morals and values, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
there are, obviously, it depends upon. I won't say Google will be a better option, or Microsoft,
Yeah.
or any other MNC.
Not
So
MNCs. Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
but with the small companies, with the startups,
Hmm.
yes, there are lot many startups. There are lot many companies out there. It depends
Hmm.
upon the founders, obviously, what
Hmm.
exactly their mindset is. But yeah, I have seen many
Great.
people in many companies adopting this particular approach.
I think you touched a very good point that, right now we are in 2023 and not many companies actually worry about your past. Of course, when you are going into MNCs, they do a lot of background verification and they have some constraints. But if you come with a never give up attitude, right? Even if 10 companies I try and fail, 11th company, 12th company, some company will definitely consider you. And there are still companies like that in the market, right?
Yeah, of course there are.
Okay. And Vishal, now if we move little towards the DevOps and cloud point of view, right? So when you started with this startup, right? Of course, there are lot of things to learn, lot of things to do, and you started things from scratch, right? At this point of time, you have a team, and probably a bunch of you are working on delivering tasks for your customers. Can you give us little overview on what kind of task do you get on regular basis? Like you can explain at a very high level also.
Okay, so I'll try to just uh, modulate it in a very simpler manner.
Yes,
So when I
yes.
joined it, as I said, we did everything from the scratch. So
Hmm,
we had an AWS account. That's it. The client gave us an AWS account, and we had to
hmm,
create everything,
hmm,
starting from VPCs, your subnets. So the
hmm,
cloud we are using is AWS.
hmm.
So we started creating everything through Terraform. Entire infrastructure was being built step by step, day by day, week by week, month by month.
Okay.
And now at this current point of time, the infrastructure portion is done. The
Hmm,
infrastructure is fully prepared.
okay.
And now we are working on the pipeline portion.
Hmm, hmm,
So now the thing is the entire team is working on the microservices that the client has, the application the client has, and we are containerizing it, and simultaneously we are putting them into the pipeline.
okay.
As of now, we haven't moved to the production yet. So the timeline is the first quarter of 2024. So these are the normal tasks. So the tasks which are being given to us, they are being handled sprint wise.
Okay.
So we have a 15-day sprint, and it depends upon what exactly we have done in the previous sprint and what
Hmm,
exactly is in the backlog. And then
hmm.
with the consideration, we get the work in the current sprint.
For people who don't understand sprint, basically Vishal is talking about a method that usually is followed in a company, which is called agile. And through that process, you basically deliver things. Sprint is basically some 2 weeks or 3 weeks where team comes ahead and says that, okay, this is what we want to do in the next 15 days. And that's what Vishal was referring to, right?
Yeah.
And Vishal, a follow-up question to this is, let's say someone learns something through a YouTube channel, okay, and maybe they learn Terraform through that YouTube channel. There are some examples that are shared. Let's say people learn through our channel, okay, and through my channel they have learned some example, and they started working for an MNC. So how different are the real-time things and this thing's going to be if you learn things from from your experience and do some practice, will you be able to cope up once you start working in a company?
Yes, there is no doubt in it.
Okay.
See, the concepts, every project requires concepts, right?
Hmm,
Unless and until the concepts and the basics are not clear. So
hmm,
suppose, let's take example of Terraform. I'm creating a
yeah.
module of EC2, right? So
Hmm,
if a follower is following your channel, so suppose
hmm,
your channel has that particular video of how to create a EC2 module
yes. Hmm,
in Terraform, right? Now that person will be very much comfortable in creating that EC2 module. He knows. But now in the organization, suppose he needs to create an RDS module using Terraform. He knows the basic thing about how to
Yes,
create a module, right? So, of course, the tags and all the attributes will be different by
different.
creating an RDS, but he would have the basics clear, like how the things are working in the backend and how things will be created, because you've already created an EC2 instance module, right?
Definitely.
So, this is the entire thing which happens in the IT industry. Once a person moves into a project, he knows nothing about that particular project. So that is why KT sessions are there, knowledge
Yeah.
transfer sessions are there.
Hmm.
So it depends again from project to project. But yeah, again coming back to your question, so that is very much possible.
Hmm.
Watching the videos and making your concepts clear, you can easily cop up. It may take time according to the individual, their learning grasps, but yeah, that is very much possible.
Yeah. So what Vishal is trying to say is, again, if you have good fundamentals and if you try to practice things, not just like, okay, I watched the video and I know it, but if you try to put things in practice and if you try to execute it on your lab environments or in your home environment, then once you move to an organization, things will be different. Today, Vishal is working in a startup, and when you move to a different company or I move to a different company, again, we are all at the same level where we don't know what that project is about. It's a new learning for us, right? Yeah, well said. Thanks, Vishal. And then now talking about the onboarding process, like you mentioned, right? There are a lot of people on our channel who are students who are moving from a different stream to DevOps, right? When you say onboarding process, how exactly it is going to look like? Like if there is a new person who is joining your team, right? Would you mentor them for the next 30 days or you share some documents or from your experience, how does that look like?
So yeah, as I said, with the very initial
Hmm.
member in my company, and now we are 40 plus. So I have seen people coming and going also. So there are many people working under me also.
Hmm.
So the basic onboarding process is, first of all, the thing is we make them comfortable for first week. We make the
Okay.
basic introductions to the team.
Okay.
Once the person is comfortable, then we don't directly expect the person, and again it depends upon experience level. We don't expect the person directly to jump on the project and take over everything. That is not how things work, at least in
Hmm.
my organization.
Hmm.
But talking about the generic overview, so what happens is KT sessions are in place. Like we have worked from the scratch, we have worked from the starting in this particular organization. So we have documented each and everything.
Okay.
So the first step is we give documentation to that particular person to
Hmm.
understand whatever he or she can from that particular documents. If he or she has any doubts in those documents, he can always come to us. Then once the
Got it.
documentation portion is done, then we give them practical KT, get them acclimatized to the real-time project, what
Hmm.
exactly is the project. And once we feel, okay, the person is now ready, we then onboard him or her to the client side. So that is how this entire process looks
Got
like.
it. So basically, there is some help that is offered to people who join the company. It's not that you
Correct.
took the interview for them and now you expect them to get started with working. It's not like that, right?
No, at least in my organization, it's not like that. And even in big MNCs, what I
How
have
was
heard
it
from
in
my
TCS?
friends,
How
yeah,
was it in TCS?
it was the same process which I just
Same
described.
process.
There are proper
Hmm.
documentation, there are proper
Hmm.
KTs. So
Yeah.
that is not a thing to worry about.
Yeah. Even my experience is also the same. I worked in 4 different organizations, and everywhere I have seen the same culture where, when you get started, they give you some time. There is some mentorship offered. There is some buddy program, people call it, where, you get to ask questions to a person and you work along with them. For first 30 days, I don't think there is some expectation from you at least. Right?
Correct.
Yeah. And what are the challenges that you see, Vishal? Because yours is also a startup, and you are implementing the DevOps culture in your organization. You are training a lot of people. You get a lot of tasks. Right? Can you share us 1 or 2 challenges if you remember? It can be very simple or it can be very complicated. Whatever comes to your mind at this point. What challenges do DevOps engineers see?
So personally, I am facing a lot of challenges. Like when I was inducted in this particular startup, so I was very new to the entire development sort of thing because previously I had only worked in the support roles, right?
Hmm,
So
hmm,
there was some kind of fear in my head whether I would be able to do it or not. But again, I was lucky. My superior, he was very supportive.
Okay.
So he didn't hesitate in sharing the knowledge. So that is how one grows, right? So you
Yes.
need to share your knowledge. Now I have some amount of knowledge. I'll be sharing it to my junior. So I share my knowledge to the college students or the universities.
Hmm.
So that is how you grow, people grow, right? So that was the thing. That was the challenging part in the first phase itself.
Hmm.
Then once the company started growing and people started coming, the project demand increased. Then I was asked to lead the project. Then again, it was again a
Awesome.
challenge from that level to another level because you have some accountability in that particular project, right? So you
Yes.
are accountable to the client, you are accountable to your CEOs, you're accountable for your team members. So that again is another challenge which I faced in a startup. About technical challenges, we face a lot of technical challenges.
Yeah.
So what one technical challenge recently I faced is we were so this client application, it I'll just give an overview. This client
Yeah.
application, it is microservices dependent, and some of the microservices are Windows oriented and some of are Linux oriented.
Okay.
So I was creating and deploying this cluster autoscaler, but then again, the cluster autoscaler is solely this Linux nodes dependent,
Got
and
it.
it is Linux oriented. Yeah, and it is not even supporting and scaling the Windows nodes. So that was a very big challenge that we faced about scaling the nodes of Windows oriented application. So that was a challenge which I am even currently facing. I am not sure what is the solution.
Okay.
Again, about another which is coming into mind currently is we have a Kubernetes cluster and we updated the version of 1.1 from 1.24 to 1.25,
Hmm.
and the entire containerization and the entire EKS cluster was the same
Yeah.
because there was just one issue because we have to update an IAM policy.
Okay.
Yeah, so these are the challenges which you face. Like for the 2 days, we didn't even understand what exactly went wrong.
Okay.
We have just updated a cluster version and why the pods were running fine, and the next day everything is like shoot up. So then again, there comes the troubleshooting part.
Hmm.
So this is how you learn. This is how you experience things.
Yeah. So it's like very little things, right? When we talk about
Yeah,
practical things, I think the one that you mentioned, upgrading the cluster, probably if someone is doing on their laptop, they might also see that, right? Right? You
correct.
are upgrading your cluster. Or the other example also that you shared, autoscaler. If you think about it, right, it's a very generic one. Lot of times people overthink that, acha, I'm just learning something. I don't know what real life challenges would look like. So real life challenges are something, even if you practice things, you will come across some issues. Those are the real life challenges, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So thank you so much. One last question that I have is, are you currently recruiting in your company? And if yes, can people reach out to you? If no, then that's fine.
So as far as DevOps is concerned, currently we are not hiring, but yes, our sales team is on. We are grabbing more projects.
Awesome.
So that's gonna be a case. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the audience can follow the company. Like I can count on this company. That is a very good company.
Very good.
I don't I don't see any company taking you a trip annually. So
Oh,
last
yeah.
month only we have been to Goa.
Wow.
So that was a 1 week
Nice.
trip. Yeah.
Very nice.
So the culture, it depends upon culture. And once you are in that mindset, no, you
Hmm.
have a good working culture, you have a good working life balance, you automatically thrive, right? So I get motivation from within. Okay, I have to do something. I am accountable for this thing. I have to learn. I have to increase my learning, and I have to share my learning. That is why I'm going into the various universities. I'm being invited into the universities, and on my weekends when I'm free, I just share my knowledge to the students. So that is
Very
how the
good.
things work.
Very good.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
best thing to learn is to teach. So
Yeah.
in the universities, I know the teachers or the faculties, they are more concerned about the theoretical part. I don't touch theory. I just directly jump onto the projects. Okay, this is the project we want to implement. This is how the projects are going to be. So what I think is I am also learning, right? By teaching
Definitely.
something, every time I learn something new.
Definitely.
So
Same.
this is the best method to learn. You need to
Same here.
teach.
Same here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even when I teach on YouTube, right? Sometimes when I plan to prepare my notes or something, then I come across a different question. Probably no one might ask me in the comment section, but when I try to phrase my entire thing, right? What should I teach? Then I come across one question that I've never thought about. Because I'm teaching, I come across such questions, and yeah, definitely. If you are willing to give back to the community. That's one of the great things that you can do. And thank you for being here today. And I think this is also one community service that you are doing and I am doing. So yeah, see you soon in various other podcasts. I wish to continue this kind of sessions with you, and let's do something together to the community. Do you want to say
Yes. Thank
something
you, Abhishek.
before we conclude?
So, just before our conclusion of this particular podcast, I would like to give an audience a shout out. First of all, never give up. See, dreams come true. All right. And I always say to my students also, the university students, don't run after money
Hmm.
in the initial years,
Yeah,
of the career. I never ran up for money because once you are proficient in the learning, money will come. It will eventually come. After
yeah,
5 years or 6 years, everyone will be at the same place.
yeah,
So there is one thing in our mind constantly. We keep on comparing with our colleagues. We keep on comparing with the relatives. So, but we have to see ourselves, right? We are our
definitely.
own competitor, and just learn, and learn. Earn will come. So this is the what I follow. So learning should never stop. You need to update yourself. You need to upgrade yourself. You should have that hunger.
Hmm.
Okay, I have to learn something and be accountable. That is one of the major thing which I feel is missing in most of the guys. People are not accountable. They are just like, okay, this is the work. I have to do this. Okay, that's done. No, it's not done.
Hmm.
So that is how you grow. That is how your company grows. And that is how people value you.
Yes,
That is how people appreciate you, right? So
sure.
these are small, small things which we need to inculcate in our behavior. So yeah,
Sure, Vishal. Thanks again. And in future, let's discuss in the other podcasts what your uh, big projects that you're doing in the current company or the future of the DevOps. Let's discuss about these kind of interesting things going ahead.
sure, I will be privileged.
Sure. See you. Take care.
Yeah. All right. Take care, Abhishek. Bye bye.